Hello guys, and welcome to Ride VIP, the rideshare channel. My name is Serge, and in today's video I want to talk about the safety for the drivers. The riders already have good safety from the drivers themselves because we have to go through like real ID checks, background checks. We have to scan our picture and stuff like that, and none of this type of stuff exists when it comes to riders. You could just have basically criminals in your Uber ride and you just don't know who you have. Okay, so I want to make this video because my heart goes out to the Uber driver that was killed. It was a lady apparently that was working for the police department as an financial analyst, and she got killed randomly by a person that woke up and thought he's just gonna kill somebody that day, and that is just very sad. My heart goes out to the family of the lady that was killed, and that ultimately makes me also question our safety. What do we need to do as drivers to stay safe? Based on the information that was provided by the police, the victim lady, she was stabbed from behind. So the passenger apparently sat behind and stabbed her, and then watched her bleed out, recorded the video, posted to Facebook, and then just walked out like nothing ever happened, like it's just another day. Fortunately, he's been caught. He's gonna go to jail or prison for a very long time, and once he gets convicted. But that being said, I started thinking about the safety even more, and this will not be the first time that somebody gets killed and not the last time. Okay, so I'm starting to think that we need to put some kind of protection between us and the rider. Some kind of maybe plexiglass protection that goes all the way from the ceiling to back. That would be like bulletproof, definitely knife proof, or maybe something like a metal partition that like a lot of commercial grade vans have, that would be riveted to the ceiling and the walls of the vehicle. It's not going to be a pretty sight, but that right there made me think. Because if somebody sits behind you, man, I've seen people fidgeting in the back so many times, and I'm telling you, like I have cameras recording and everything. Like I have dash cam, it's recording me, and I don't know if that ever prevented anyone from doing anything, because I'll tell you this, I haven't had any issues. I only had issue one time, and that was last year, and I had to tell the passenger to get out of my car. That was only one time it ever happened, and I had to call the police on him. He was really mad, but guess what? He was sitting directly behind me in my Nissan Altima. If he would have had a knife or a gun and he was upset at me that I'm telling him to get out because he was being very vagrant type of passenger, to say the least, I'm not gonna really get into that right now. He could have done whatever. Like I would have not even been able to really stop it at that point, because I don't have eyes in the back of my head, and I certainly don't have eyes in the back of my seat. Police vehicles, like if you buy, let's say, like, I don't know, like those old, like Crown Vics, or you buying some kind of Ford Explorer that's kind of like from a police auction. Those police seats are actually built with some kind of like aluminum backing or something. There's some kind of protective shield in the back that would prevent the knife from going all the way through. I'm not sure what my BMW has. It does have some kind of like a hard shell type of backing on it. I'm not sure how strong it is, but I'm thinking that's not going to be strong enough to, like knife could easily go through it. A bullet can easily go through it. anything like that. So I'm thinking that we need to think of something to stay safe. Install some kind of partition between us and the rider. And I'm now starting to think like, well, I don't want to do this to the BMW. I really enjoyed this car. I mean, this car might be old and it's making noise right now on the bearing. I'm going to be doing this bearing today. But this is a fun car for me. I just passed my street. And I do not want to do anything to ruin that. But that being said, I do have another vehicle. I mean, I have plenty of vehicles, but I have one vehicle that I could consider actually using for Uber. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm going to work the rest of the week. I'm gonna try to collect my bonus. I'm gonna be very careful selecting who I actually pick up and who I drop off. They better have a really good rating, and if there's no rating or a new rating, I'm not picking them up. If there's at least a couple points down, this doesn't matter. That just shows the person's been around. I'm gonna click. I'm gonna see how many rides they had. Like, man, this is serious business, because we need to be protected. Like, Uber really needs to do something about it. I've actually considered just quitting altogether, because I can do something better with my life. But look, that is not an answer, just to simply quit, because not everybody has that opportunity to just simply quit. But what we can do is to choose our rides, not only that made the most amount of money, choose the rides that are 100% safe for us by choosing a rating. Also, choosing rides that are going to be in more expensive areas versus some of the poor areas, which would probably cause the poor areas to surge. Maybe go there, collect the bonus. Just don't take anybody from those really questionable areas. I will tell you kind of like 3 stories right now. They're gonna be very quick. First story happened yesterday. Guy was sitting in the back of me. It was a white guy, and he said to me in these words, which made me question things a little bit, but I brushed it off. Okay, I always act very calm, even in a situation that is somewhat questionable, to say the least. Now, the passenger was a white male. Picked him up at a bar. I already almost brought him to his house. The ride was pretty good. He actually said he was gonna tip me. I don't know whether he did or not. Never checked. This guy tells me, plain out, he says, "Hey, I got a question for you. What if I was a crazy motherfucker and like I did something, right? Would you be able to protect yourself or something like that? Do you have anything to defend yourself with?" He literally asked me that. But it's not what he asked, it's the way he asked. And I looked at him. I looked at his face, and I'm like, he does look like a crazy motherfucker, excuse my language. And I'm like, I replied to him, of course I have protection. And I actually do. I said, well, what do you have? I said, I have everything. I says, anybody that's gonna try to do anything to me will highly regret it. I did not say what I have. I will not say what I have. But I know one thing is, I do have protection. And he says, oh, that is good. You look like somebody that can handle yourself. I'm like, yes, I can. Plus, I'm a black belt in karate. I said, I could definitely handle myself. Somebody would feel very sorry for attempting to do anything. He's like, man, that's good, man. Stay safe and stuff like that. But I'm thinking, that this guy just thought about doing something like that. Like, it just made me, just the fact that he even had the nerve to bring such a thing up. Like, imagine the kind of thoughts you have to have in your mind to even ask you something like that. I don't know the guy. We didn't have a very, amazing conversation or whatever. Like, it was just like a normal conversation. He was just asking me some questions about Uber and stuff like that, which I replied, Second and third is going to be very similar type of story. Happens very quickly. I already been in 2 shady neighborhoods. I dropped off a passenger where the street is very narrow in a regular neighborhood, and the street dead ends. and there is no place to like make a like kind of like a little like roundabout so you could turn around. Like it just sort of like ends, and then there is no driveway for me to back out of because there's so many cars parked on the side of the road. This is why the road is like narrow to begin with. Only one car fits. And then guess what? As soon as I drop off a passenger, some black guy runs out, and I started backing out, and he's like waving like he wants me to stop, like he's got something to say. Like, okay, let me tell you this, guys. I don't have no Uber signs on my vehicle. There's no indication that I'm a Uber driver, Lyft driver, anything. I don't have no stickers, and I don't have them for that very reason. Random people trying to get into my Uber, Lyft, pretending that they requested me. So I do not have that. And I know you technically, I don't know, should, maybe. But we're contractors. Heck, we could work for anybody. Just because we're working for Lyft and Uber, we should not like advertise their names on our vehicles, which that's another reason I do not advertise for them. Now, they don't want us to advertise anything else that we're doing. Let's say you're, I don't know, a real estate agent. You cannot advertise yourself on the vehicle. They're against that. And they want your car to be painted like one solid color, not something noticeable, which would be easier to catch. But anyways, let me tell you this. So both neighborhoods, I had to back out. And I keep backing out. Do not ever stop in those situations. In the ghetto, what they like to do is they like to sometimes put like a brick in the middle of like a huge, I'm talking about like a cinder block or like a big rock. And you sort of need to go forward, right? So some people would get out of the car and move the whatever it is on the floor, whatever's blocking your road. They could put anything. They could put a bicycle over there, whatever it is. You might try to get out, like move it, you know. And that's when they run out of nowhere, and they're waiting for somebody like that. And that's where they rob you, steal you, take your car. They might even kill you at that point. So do not even answer anybody's questions. Simply just back out, keep your windows closed, do not engage in conversation, just leave. I even ignore people at the gas stations. People walking up to me at the gas stations randomly, I don't know who the heck they are. They're like, hey, you know, knocking on my window. I'm like, who the F are you? Like, I'm thinking, like, you don't know who I am. I'm like literally parked in the parking lot, let's say like facing QT, and that person's knocking them out, like, get the F away from my vehicle, you know, like that's what I'm thinking. But I'm very calm, very collected, and I wave them off. I'm like, basically, get the F out of here. Like, just a little wave, you know, get out, keep a straight face. And they look at me and they could see that they don't know who the heck I'm, like they're seeing I'm not scared of them. I'm really not, you know, and they better not try anything. And they could see that, like, no, they don't mess with it. They just walk away. And it's just sometimes we need to really be cautious and mindful of what's going on in and around us. And just don't pick up people that you may have a gut feeling about that is not a good pickup for you. Another thing I just kind of thought of, two actually. One time I needed to pick up somebody at basically a gas station off South Boulevard. It was some random street, forgot the name of that particular street. It was dark, it was the middle of the night. So I came there in a Lyft, and here I am waiting for my passenger. There's no picture, there's no nothing, I cannot see nothing. But of course with Lyft you could kind of see that picture. With Uber, I don't know, they kind of hide it, and it's really hard to click on stuff and actually access the information. With Lyft it's a little easier. So anyways, I parked at a gas station, but the gas station's closed. It's not even open. Their lights are not even on. And there's a black person sitting on the sidewalk, and I got nothing against black people. I think everybody bleeds red, okay? But he's just sitting there, and I'm thinking, hey, it's just a guy sitting there. I don't pay attention. You know, he's just sitting there. He's like smoking. I'm like, okay. I'm waiting for my passenger. I don't even know who I'm supposed to pick up. I just know the name. So anyways, 5 minutes passes. So the ride should actually be canceled at the time. So hey, this guy gets up, walks in front of my vehicle, does a little weird dance. And that's just kind of like by the left side of my headlight. Walks in the middle of the vehicle, does another little dance, walks around to my passenger door, does another little dance, then drops something, picks it up, and then I take off. I just drove off. He's like, hey, like, wait. I'm like, heck no, I'm not picking your ass up. You could walk. So another situation, which was not a bad one, but I've seen a similar situation like this turn badly, and that was a YouTube video after the fact. I came to a trailer park, and a couple of these white, basically trailer park trash type of people came out. They looked very trashy. Sorry, you know, that's just how they look. Not trying to judge them. Maybe I am. But anyways, they did not look promising to me, to say the least. I still picked them up, and I think it was stupid. Knowing what I know now, I would have just drove off. Like, if it's a very, very questionable area, there were like two walking kind of slow. It was a man and a lady, and a little skinny. They looked like heroin addicts, maybe fentanyl or whatever. And I literally took him across the street to the gas station. Like, I wasn't getting much for that trip anyways. I drove, I don't know from where. I can't remember. It was probably not even profitable. But at the time, I didn't care. I took every shit possible that they gave me. Excuse my language. But I've seen a video on YouTube what actually happened. Some guy came like that, similar situation. Two dudes walking with hoodies on. And good thing this guy had a gun on him. And he was like also a fighter. And they get in, like, and they basically said, like, he was driving a Mercedes, and like they wanted to steal his Mercedes, and he pulled a gun on him and stuff, and you know, he got like in the news or something about it. But the thing is, Lyft is against us having guns. So basically, they do not want to give us safe riders. They don't check their background, they don't check nothing, and they just let them on the platform. Yet it's like, yeah, you don't have to be protected. If you will protect yourself, we'll just ban you from the platform. So that is absolutely not fair, and something needs to be done about it. But anyways, up until that point, something gets done. This is what I'm gonna do. I have this Jeep Patriot that I bought. It was just like a random purchase. It's a 2015. I bought it from an auction, slightly crashed. I fixed it. It still looks a little bit messed up. I mean, all the good parts are on there. I just need to paint it and stuff and do some final adjustments. But I'm kind of thinking, okay, that is a 4-cylinder vehicle, 2015, slightly newer. It is not like leather or anything, so I don't know if I would qualify for anything special. Probably not, like preferred rides and stuff. But it's slightly newer. It's got only 75,000 miles on it. But here's what I'm kind of thinking. Like, Jeeps, they're kind of like boxy vehicles, you know? It's a lot easier to deal with. Like I would like not really care if I put a partition in it. You know what I mean? I would really not care. Like, I would easily put a partition in it, like not even think twice. And I'm considering of adding a partition inside of that vehicle, and it's probably gonna be like some metal partition because I'm not taking no chances. And probably put like a plexiglass over the bars or whatever, and I'm gonna keep those passengers away from me as much as possible. And I already only work 3 times a week, and I'm kind of thinking like, okay, like I could just quit or I could continue working safely. So I'm thinking I'm gonna finish off this week, enjoy whatever little holiday I have, and then maybe start working on getting that vehicle to that condition that I would be happy with. Paint everything and stuff like that, and install that partition in it. Like, I don't care. Like, I could easily install it in that Jeep. I do have several other vehicles that are not fuel efficient. I have a 2008 Lincoln Navigator, like a black extended. I was thinking like doing like my own type of ride share out of that, like a Ride VIP type of service. It is black. It's looks like really nice, and I may still do that. I mean, I do have the app and everything. I mean, that's something I plan for the future. I always plan in advance before I even want to do something. I'm thinking, well, I got this idea, might as well do it. So I created an app. But anyways, that being said, it's a total of 5 apps, but that's not what I was gonna say. I could like technically build a whole new business. Like, I really don't need to have like any kind of like rideshare related business. As a matter of fact, if anything, it would be very, very, very inconvenient for me with where I live. Now, If I lived somewhere in Charlotte, sure, I could be taking people to the airport all day long, and just building that clientele, especially with people flying all the time. I see those people, but the thing is, what I noticed already, like, I've been taking some of these people, like, and like, we're already barely getting paid, and like none of them tip. Like, these are businessmen and all kinds of people that's constantly flying, and they're bragging about how much money they're making, and they do not tip at all. So it's kind of like, okay, I could give business cards to those people, like make them like my clients, but that's not gonna be very good clients. I think the best clients to have for like an Uber Black service, you'll have to put your time in. You'll have to get an appropriate vehicle for Uber Black, Uber Black XL, preferably Uber Black XL, just so you could make a little more. Start a whole new account, do the Uber Black thing with commercial insurance and everything, like do everything correctly, and then make good money, but promote yourself to all of those clients. And you might have to spend, I don't know, a year or something. Promote yourself, give everybody a card, and then start selling your service at $100 an hour. That would be my price. I'll tell you what, guys, I'm also a mechanic, and I have people that show up to me and they want me to fix their vehicles, and I charge $100 per labor hour, which means that if it takes me like less time to do something, let's say labor hours 8 hours and it takes me 4 hours because I'm a really good mechanic, I could still charge $800 because it's not per hour, it's per labor hour. I have all special tools and everything, so I may just stick to mechanics, but I still enjoy driving. I enjoy this hustle, especially at night where there's no traffic. It's just kind of peaceful, and I could just enjoy it, just drive around, make my bonus, and that kind of makes me happy because ultimately I don't know, I make some extra spending money or whatever, so I don't want to just like quit. But I'm highly considering doing that Jeep, just setting it up for rideshare, and I'll show you guys kind of like what I'll end up doing. Let me know if you would like to see some step-by-step, kind of like what I'm gonna do to install a partition. And I don't even know if you are with me at this point, but guys, this is very serious. So our safety is very serious. Like with that story, that person just woke up and thought he'll kill somebody. He didn't have like crazily bad record, but he had a bad record. Nothing that crazy, but it's just sometimes you just don't know who you're picking up. And I've picked up gangsters. They were my Uber. I got along with them. I picked up rappers that was gangsters before, and they're trying to fix their life or whatever, and I respect everybody. Like anybody that gets in, I give them respect. I try to make their day a little better. Like I'll laugh with them. I try to provide a good service. And I'll tell you what, everybody always told me like this is the best Uber or this is the best Lyft I ever got. Like I get that all the time, and I just don't try to give nobody a hard time, but you still got to be smart about it. I think if we had that partition, kind of like limo drivers, I mean, you could make something nicer. Let's say you got like some kind of like Uber Black car, maybe create something that on the lines of like wood grain and leather, and maybe add some, I don't know, cup holders there or something. Put like a TV for them, like make it look like like a TV like on each side, like a little window that they could look sort of like at you. Maybe add like a place like with holes, kind of like a speaker where like you could hear them or something, but make sure it's kind of safe that they cannot poke nothing through there, poke you, stuff, just so you could hear them. So like it's just important. So you could make something like look like luxury like that, just to keep yourself safe, especially if you got like, I don't know, like a big SUV. I'd say like if I had an SUV, I'd probably install a partition right behind me, and nobody is sitting in the front. Screw that. Once the partition's in, nobody's sitting in the front. As a matter of fact, I would probably do something to the handle. I would disable the handle so that it no longer opens, just to make sure that I'm safe. Because as I'm popping open the rear doors, that's all they're getting. They get in, they get out. I want to make sure that I'm protected, make sure that you're protected, guys. So start thinking about this kind of stuff, because I think quitting's not an option. This is still good money if you do it right, that is. If you don't do it right, it's $8 to $12 an hour, and just risking your life for like no freaking reason, you know. And I think life is a lot more valuable than this job, that's for sure. But anyways, guys, that is my advice for you for today. I hope it's a good one. I hope this could save your life. I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Take care of yourself. God bless you. Please stay safe out there. Okay, enjoy your holidays, guys.